Yes, we are live again. It's Wednesday, July 24th, 3:07. I'm here with the Beat Demons. Fellas, what's going on?
What's up? What's up?
Chilling, man. Trying to got some good stuff going on in the
Yeah.
background.
Mhm.
Some big wins in the process. So, really excited, bro.
I
Good.
dig it, man.
Yeah. Despise all the bullshit going on.
I know, man. It's crazy out there, bro. It's
Yeah,
crazy, man.
this shit is getting weird. I don't know to believe this shit or not. You know what I'm saying? But I
Bro,
guess.
it's like every day it's like, yeah, you're good to go outside and go back to here. No, wait, there's these
Mhm.
numbers are spiking. Don't go outside.
Yeah.
Actually, you don't need a mask. No, actually, you do need a mask. No,
Maybe these
actually,
numbers are
what the fuck
fake.
am I supposed to do, man? Like,
No,
I'm just
no.
in the crib hosting shows, man. That's all I'm doing. Like, I'm safe here. I can't
Yeah,
can't
facts.
get
But
sick here.
I
So
don't know, bro. I just keep seeing like a lot of the stuff. Like some people saying it's fake, and then like some people are saying there's a certain kind of medicine that you could take, but they don't want you to take it because they want to keep people sick. It's weird,
Mhm.
bro.
It's a
So
whole lot of theories going on.
listen,
right.
all I can say on that, man, we're not going to get into conspiracy theories. We'll be here all day, but the health industry makes money from people being sick, not
Mhm.
healthy. So if there's no sick people, there's no money to be made. So my
True.
personal opinion is that's what people do, man. They try to keep people healthy enough where they need you, but not too healthy either. So
Facts.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, it's a pleasure to be on with you guys. Artist Hustle.
Yes, sir. It looks like we have a coach. Yo, what's up, everybody?
Yeah, man, we got almost 100, yeah, like no, like almost 75, 80 people in
Hey,
here.
you're looking sharp today. Well,
Dope.
thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, bro. I look a little rough, but we gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? Somebody asked how long have we been producing. I guess if y'all want, y'all could ask us any questions for us right now, and then once we bring on Austin Martin, we could we'll ask him the questions y'all
Who,
might have.
who is Austin Martin for the people who may not know? Give them a quick
So
breakdown.
okay, so Austin Martin's pretty much from our town, Austin, Texas. I know he manages a bunch of artists, including Quinn and FN. Um, and I know he handles Quinn's stuff. Yeah, looking good. Thank you.
Sorry, I had to highlight that, not to throw you off.
Yeah, he manages artists, and he does everything that he needs to do on his end. And I'm not 100% sure how a manager's work. So we personally don't have a manager. So us asking these questions are stuff that you know I'm sure a lot of people might have questions for it. But yeah, for the most part, he's a cool dude, man. And yeah, he's from Austin, and he represents Quinn. So yeah.
Word up. No, I'm excited to talk to him. That's dope. That's
Yes,
dope.
sir. But
So yeah, any questions for you guys? I see the first one's how long you guys been producing for. So I'm sure I forgot you guys can see the comments. So my bad. I always forget
yeah,
that.
yeah. So
Oh, me.
Oh,
I've been producing since 14 years old. I'm 28 now. No, 20. How old am I? I'm 29. Man, I'm old as hell. God damn. I'm about to hit 30. Mm-mm. But anyway, yeah, I've been producing
I'm
for a
really old
long
then.
time.
yeah, it's been years, bro. I probably say full time, what, like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, full time, 4 or 5 years.
But before that, it was all kind of a process and stuff. So you know, since I was like 15, 14 is when I first started like dabbing in music and messing with it and stuff. But yeah, it's a process, man, and you get where you're going with time. So
Yeah.
definitely, just if you're also a producer, just make sure you are consistent, and you ain't scared to being there for the long run. um
Hmm.
all
Yeah,
right, somebody who said how to get placements.
make
The best.
make those beats.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, so there's a lot of, it's kind of weird how some of the stuff we've kind of got it to where it's just randomly from placing stuff online, just uploading to YouTube, uploading to BeatStars consistently and building your
Hmm.
brand. But with like Quinn and stuff, it's actually we met him more like word of mouth, and like going to these events and stuff like that, and just networking, bro. So I mean, there's not a right or a wrong way, but definitely networking and being a brand and showing yourself online, and also
Mhm.
making sure you have quality beats and making sure you try to mix and master your stuff the best you can. So
Yeah.
you know there's not a right or wrong way, but you know, definitely consistency and networking is, I think, the two biggest keys to getting placements. So yeah,
I just want to follow up that question with placements are amazing and they're a huge success. And I think every producer, if it interests them, they should go after doing that. But
facts.
also don't forget about building your own customer base on your own and having that real, human to human touch with your business. Because getting placements is amazing, like I said, but I don't feel like that's all you should bank on. So also think about how you can build up 1,000 loyal fans
Facts.
and just grow from there. And then like I've used this breakdown so many times, but you get 1,000 people to spend $100 a year, you're making 100K minus your overhead, taxes, etc. It's decent money. It's decent
Yeah,
money. So
and
just, focus on that, but add placements in there too as part of that growth plan. I don't want people to get hyped up and like, yo, I'm gonna get placements somewhere, and then they don't, and then like, man, fuck this, I'm quitting. Like, you have to have some kind of balance with everything if you really want to do this full time for the rest of your life. In my opinion, it's my opinion.
nah, and from experience from us, bro, like that's always kind of been the motto. Like, yeah, we might not be getting thousands of placements, we might not be all over the billboards and stuff like that, but
Yep.
we have our structure. So if we don't get placements for a whole 2 years, we already have our structure and our brand as Beat Demons, and we get enough sales to support both of our families. You know what I'm saying? So definitely don't just focus on getting placements. Like, as you build your brand and stuff, you're gonna, placements are gonna come along when they come along. But definitely, like I said, networking is key. But at the same time, like, just don't depend on placement, because
100%.
when it comes to placements, it's like a long term, and yeah, you might get a small bag, but during that whole time you're waiting for that bag, you could have made hundreds of sales and made more money than you're gonna get off the placement. So it's the thing.
And you have more control over your customer base too. You have a new deal, a new beats, send them an email, or whatever it is. It's hard if you're only banking on those things. So make sure you can touch your customers. Have those analytics to actually hit them yourselves and keep your business going. So
facts. All right.
How long should you spend on the beat? Well, personally, for me, I don't want to spend. I try to make a beat within like an hour, because I feel like if you keep listening to it over and over, you're just gonna get bored of your own beat and just go like, man, I feel like I could do better, and then start on a new beat, and that's how you just create a chain of unfinished beats. So I say just spend like 30 minutes to an hour on the beat, as far as like trap music or just like R&B or beats in general.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, some people, they can make a beat in 5 minutes. Some people can make a beat, or it takes them an hour or two to make a beat. At the end of the day, the most important thing is to work at your own pace. Everybody's different. It might take us, like I said, 5 minutes to make a beat and it'll be fired, but it takes you an hour. At the end of the day, you still got a fire beat. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's see. I mix the beat more than the creative process. Is that bad?
Yes and no. Like, when you mix, like if you over mix, you will destroy the beat pretty much. So just try to keep it to a minimum. Less is more. Don't EQ too much, don't compress too much. Just just do what sounds right, pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah, just don't I would say just don't overly mix your stuff. Sometimes sound selection is big key. And if you don't gotta mix it, don't mix it.
Just make sure you have quality drum kits.
Yeah.
And YouTube's your best friend.
Facts. There's a shit ton of YouTube videos out there. You know what I'm saying? All right. Somebody said, do you use any ads on YouTube or IG or BeatStars? How it works for you guys? Yeah, so we've used like Google Ads, we've used IG, we've used BeatStars, Facebook. We've tried everything. You know what I'm saying? There's times where certain things that we do that it works, and there's times where eventually what was working changes and it doesn't work no more. So definitely just play with your advertisement, try out all platforms. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way. So it's just part of growing is experimenting and learning. So definitely just try that. Like start out with a small budget if you don't have a big budget to do it. Go from there.
Oh yeah, looks like Austin's here too. If you wanted to bring him in.
Okay. I think he was trying to set up his video camera.
There we got him. He's right here.
Yo, what's up, bro?
What's
What up,
happening?
bro?
My guys, what's up? What's up? What's up?
Chilling,
Chilling,
man. How you doing?
Oh man, blessed, busy. You know what I'm saying? Non-stop working, man. How about y'all, man? What's going on over there, man?
Shit, bro, I'm ready to go on a vacation. You feel me?
Yo, man, you know we doing Miami in a second, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the first one. We're gonna do Miami.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. We're gonna be. I think we're actually gonna be out there. Like as soon as y'all leaving, I think that's when we landing. So yeah.
Ooh.
But it's more, bro. We gotta get out the house, man. I'm tired of, you know what I'm saying. I just want to see the beach, bro. To be
Nah,
straight.
get up, man. Beach vibe, man. For sure, for sure.
But yeah, man. So I guess we could start with asking you some questions or kind of get stuff going as far as like management goes. If you want, you could. We kind of already introduced you, but if you want, you could just tell people a little bit about you, where you live or where you're from, etc.
Okay. Well, for all you who don't know, I go by Austin Martin, producer, artist, now executive, based out of Austin, born and raised. Now actually living in Los Angeles full time now, working with a few different labels, working as A&R and also really focusing on management, artist development right now. It's really funny because I didn't really plan on being an executive, and it really, you know what I mean? I really, and that was kind of just written out like I wanted to do that. But I really felt that there was a need for just assistance when it came to lack of knowledge and platforms for artists. And being as I was an artist and still am and a producer, I just feel like it was a lot easier for me to relate to the talents and relate to the creatives. And that way, it was a little bit different from some of the executives that are not really in touch or really kind of ground level with the artist.
Yeah.
It just gave me a different level of understanding when it came down to what was really needed, because I knew as an artist what was needed. So it kind of just thrust me into that, and I haven't looked back since,
Yeah, that's fire, bro. Because I feel like now you kind of have, you're more in touch of what the artist needs versus some of the executives.
Exactly.
They're not an artist or they're not a producer, so they only know from their standpoint. You know what I'm saying? But they don't have something more relatable as an artist, and you're able to relate with the artist and stuff. So I definitely think that's dope, and fuck with you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I see you, man. For sure, for sure.
But yeah, so we have a bunch of like questions we're gonna ask you, and if anybody has any questions, y'all feel free to drop them in the comments. We'll come back and ask them. But yeah, so we'll start off like, when did you get into managing?
Managing recently, honestly, I got into managing around last year, around February, when working with an artist by the name of Queen in the Fin, which you guys know, and
Facts.
it was, it was funny because we were actually just, doing some production work, and I've only done. It's funny. I've only done one track for Queen. I started out. I was planning on doing, 100 tracks with him, 1,000, a whole bunch of albums with him. I only actually did one track with him. And through the course of us even, doing that track, and us kind of coming together, I was like, well, you know what? I feel like, a thing too that people can't do is a lot of people can't put their pride to the side. You know what I mean? And I felt like I was just like, you know what? I can make tracks. Yeah, that's cool, but I feel like he already has producers that can do that. What he doesn't have is administration and some extra people that can help him on this side. So, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just put that ego to the side and just step up to make sure that that side is kind of taken care of more. So that's really what I focused on. And of course, what I'm saying, we got guys like you, what I'm saying, you guys, here we got to really make a track again. You guys are the superstars, right? You know what I'm saying? I got nothing, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it was just, something that needed to be done. So like I said, I feel like I've been doing this side forever, but, recently it's only been about a year and a half.
Yeah, so professionally, or like you think like full time is when you like really started just being a manager.
Yeah.
In the past year. That's dope, bro. Is there a reason why you kind of just like in your mind just wanted to do it, or it's just something that just led up to you being a manager?
And honestly, I think it was just a calling. I had, like I said, I didn't have a plan on doing it. It's just, some of this stuff you just can't plan. You just have to really just stay down. And like I said, once you remove ego from a lot of your stuff, then I think a lot of other opportunities really present themselves too. Because a lot of people are like, oh man, I'm the producer. Oh man, I can be the artist. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he hot. What about me?
Yeah. It's just play. It's like the best thing to do is just play a role. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you fit.
If I got to help you pick up bags, bro, whatever I got to do, you know what I'm saying? Because this is what needs to be done. You know what I mean? You can only do so much as an artist. You know what I mean? It's up for you to be creative, and it's up for you to have a good team that really understands the plan and the vision that can really help you execute those things and bring that vision to life.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
Just by hearing that story, I can tell you he's been a manager since the day he was born. He just didn't know it because seriously, because it's the same thing that happened to me. I was a DJ, I was then a rapper, I did everything. I managed a studio, and basically you realize even as an artist or a producer, you're the ones who's doing all the managing stuff for the people you're working on music with. So I'm like, yo, if I'm already doing all this, let me put my ego to the side. I'm gonna start doing this, and that's what it is. You have to have that calling. It is a calling. It's just something that you have a knack for, that you gravitate towards. So I think it's just in his blood, to be honest, because that's how I feel about myself. So it's true, and I salute you for doing that, bro. Because trust me, it hurt me to be like, oh, I can't rap no more. Oh, I can't do this no more. But it worked out. It's worked out great, and it does open doors. So true facts.
And see, it's crazy because I know he used to rap and I used to rap way back in the day, and it's just like I feel like a lot of producers went through that phase of, okay, I'm a rapper, but okay, I want to make my own beats, and then eventually it's just we gotta
pick one,
pick one, put our pride to the side, be like, rapping is cool, but I feel like I'm a better producer. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what happened to me. So
it's hard for people, man. It's hard to stop doing something you love to do to really pursue something that you can excel at. It's a balancing act for sure. So definitely salute him for that, man.
It was hard for me. I was like, man, I want to be a rapper so bad.
The great thing about the great thing about that now, though, that I am in the position that I am in, it's way easier to do anything that I wanted to do as far as being, you know what I mean? Because now you're able to show that you've actually shown and proved, and you've learned the business side. So usually a lot of the labels are afraid to invest in the artists because they feel like they don't know the business side of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're a lot more willing to take the risk once they've already seen that you have a proven plan and something, a structure that's already worked. And coming into it, when I come back around, it's going to be more of executive production, kind of like what you see DJ Mustard will do with Roddy Ricch or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
We can still be an artist and still be the creatives. You know what I mean? I think it's just a different space, and you just do it differently now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not for sure. But it's all part of growing and developing and being that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the good thing about time, man. Is if you invest your time into improving yourself in all aspects of the music stuff, the sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely dope. So do you manage other artists besides Quinn?
Yeah, man. I have a full roster right now, man, and it's growing. I think we have about, let me see, we're like at 7 artists right now. About 7. We have a full management company, a full management firm that we're actually creating. So I have Austin Music Entertainment, which is my production company, record company, as well as management company. Now we've also created and teamed up with All Kings Management, which is a brand new management company that I've also created to come in and really power up artists, really partner with the artists, give them the tools and the things necessary for them to kind of really just understand that they're really bosses, they're kings.
The
thing about my management company is just, it's 100% transparency. I want everybody to know exactly what's going on, and it's accountability. A lot of times artists aren't held accountable for greatness. Like, they have to be held accountable as well. It's not just like a secret sauce or like a recipe, that you just like a switch that you flip to make this stuff work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts. So just
big thing about that too.
Yeah, so pretty much you already kind of have like a whole team under you that's also assisting you in managing and stuff. That's fucking dope, bro. That's live. See, I didn't really even, I knew you had that one dude that we met at the studio that one time, but I didn't know if there was other people involved and stuff. But that's dope, man. Because like I said earlier, we've never had a manager and stuff like that. And I don't know if we need one, to be honest. But at this point, I feel we're able to like handle our own stuff. But I know at a certain point, eventually, having a manager might be something that we do need. So, you know, you coming on and like answering these questions is definitely helpful to us as well. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so that actually, so when would you suggest that an artist or a producer would need a manager?
Good question. So this is one thing that because I get a million management inquiries, daily. But this is what I tell people all the time: you don't need management until you need management. Um, and I'm gonna break that down for people, I guess, who didn't get that. Like until you start actually to the point to where bookings are coming in, people are calling for press. Different people are trying to get you on the road. Features are coming in. Until it's something that you can't handle, until it's something that you're actually producing, you don't really need management until that point, because one, if you can't produce anything, then a manager is not going to be able to survive off of that status. What can they do if you're not producing anything?
yeah,
A lot of times, like even myself, what I do is consult. I try to consult, to a certain degree, or just build someone to the point to where they actually are making something. Then I can come in and manage you, because at that point, it's like, well, hey, how are you going to have someone taking 20% of something and you're trying to build? It's like it's hard. It's like, hey, for every something,
yeah,
take a brick out of. You know what I mean? It's like trying to build
That's
trying to castle.
that's an investment, bro. That's an investment. That's not managing. That's an investment at that point, in my opinion.
And that's one thing too I want to bring up. There's a very big misconception of what the role of manager is, and I want to be able to go ahead and state these things right now. A manager is one, not a babysitter. Manager two is not a financial partner necessarily. You know what I mean? The three, a manager is not the say all, end all, be all of your career as well. You know what I mean? A manager is someone who is supposed to be able to help you conduct everyday business and make sure that they are doing whatever they can to add additional resources or additional business models or different things to kind of build you as a brand, and also help you along the way with your business. What the biggest misconception is that, oh, I got a manager now. Oh, I don't got to do no work. No, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Oh, I got a manager right now. Oh, well, hey, man, I'm hungry right now. Can you buy me this food? Or, hey, man, I want to get this feature. Can you pay for it? Or, hey, man, that's not what a manager is for.
yeah.
I need to manage what you have going on in your career at this point. If
Right.
you don't have anything going on in your career, or if you're not positive or you're not making anything, then there's nothing that I can come in there and do. There's really nothing I can do. You have to get yourself to a point to where you're like, man, I have these bookings, I got this going. I mean, I can't handle it. And the money, yeah, I'm willing to give someone a portion of what I'm making in order to help me with my business and help me streamline this business that's coming in.
Facts. Yeah. So pretty much people you got to have business coming in order to have somebody help you manage it. If you don't have no business, you know, it's not you're asking a manager to invest in you, not manage you. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely, I guess, the big key. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me, what am I managing at this point? The only thing I'll be managing you is you as a person. If you, like, one of my colleagues and told me a long time ago, is like, you can never manage another man. You know what I'm saying? Or manage another person. It's up for them to manage themselves. Now, you can help them manage their business, but I don't believe, now, of course, a manager like me, myself, I still do it for my artists all the time because I care, but I'm not obligated to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not obligated to try to make sure that you wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning so you don't miss your interview. Like, if you don't want to wake up in time for that interview, then you really don't want it. Now, I'm still going to get on you. I'm still going to get on you. You know what I'm saying? I'll make sure you make it, but there's only so many times I can do that, because what happens if, you know what I'm saying, you're in Hong Kong, you know what I'm saying, and I'm over here in London or something. It's like, hey, you got to get up. You know what I mean? If you don't get up, then you missed it. And then guess what? If the sponsors are mad, now you missed out on a $200,000 endorsement because you didn't make the meeting. That's on you. Now, you do that too many times. Now you're talking about my organization. Now you're talking about my company. It's like, hey, now we can't do that. Come on, you got to get up. You got to make it. So like I said, a lot of people just don't hold people accountable, but I think the biggest reason is because there are misinterpretations of what things are, and people are not very clear and transparent, like I said in the beginning, of what the roles are and what is to be expected of the management and expected of the artist and expected of the label and expected of the producers, the engineers. There has to be an expectation so that people aren't over promising and under delivering. You know, it's like, okay, this is what you're doing. This is an artist, right?
Yeah.
This is what I'm bringing in. This is what's happening. All right, now I need your help. All right, cool. Or you say, well, hey, I'm trying to get there. I say, all right, well, look, these are the steps that you need to take. And then once these things are coming in, then a management company or a manager like myself can come in and take over.
Will come in. That's dope, bro. So is there, I guess, so people could more or less understand what are things that you normally handle? You know what I'm saying? I know you kind of said it already, but you know, just so they could know. So what are the main things you handle as a manager?
Right now, one of my main things is actually like a liaison between the artist or the talent and the record label. Just because a lot of times they, as much as you would think they speak the same language, they really don't. So it's up to me to be able to kind of make sure that all the discretions or how the wants and the needs of artists are kind of expressed to the label, and honestly make sure that the label feels comfortable in our plan with being able to deliver those things to them. So that's one thing is, of course, accountability. And then second is making sure that, of course, bookings, inquiries, things of that nature, like no email goes unturned. I honestly, I don't know how I do it. Like literally, there's not one email that goes past me. That's myself. That's before it gets to staff or anybody else or interns that's helping me. Like I respond to every email, every booking inquiry. Everybody gets everything done. Like I don't miss a thing. Then also it's revenue. You know, trying to think of different ways to create revenue. For, you know, different things as far as merchandise. Also, I was just talking to one of my new artists that would just sign, the Piff Boys, about you know, creating some different merchandise materials out here in Los Angeles, you know, creating some different, you know, like Planet K's, their own version of Planet K's, you know, and different things of that nature. So we're like, you know, I'm a business manager first. I always think about the business. I always think about a way that we can actually plant a seed. Things can grow later.
Yeah, that's dope. So pretty much it's like a accountability. You handle all the bookings, all the shows, you know, any other inquiries if it comes to sponsors and, you know, like I guess other like relationships with other artists and their management. You know, from what I've been told, is like also a manager is a good person to have as like a cushion. You know, like say for example, I don't want to mess up this relationship with an artist because, you know, we in general we vibe, you know what I'm saying? We make good music, we do etc. You know what I'm saying? But if business isn't being handled a certain way as far as their management goes, there's some times where we need a manager or somebody that's in between to say stuff that we can't say without messing up a relationship. So, you know, I think that's something also that I'm pretty sure you can agree to that too, right?
Sure. I think it's just really classifying the different types of representation. You know, so you have your management, then you have, you know, like they call like day-to-day managers, people who, the day-to-day managers are really the ones who are like the, not quote unquote, lack of a better word, it's like the assistants, the ones who are going to make sure that the artists are up every day, make sure that the guys are going into the studio, making sure that they're not falling behind, making sure that they, you know, waking up, hitting their deadlines, different things of that nature. Then you have the road managers, the ones who are going to be on the road with the artists, make sure that they're, you know, collecting the money from the different booking agents, making sure that they're talking to the labels, making sure that the road, you know, and street team is good, different things of that nature, tour bus coordination, stuff like that. Then you have business manager, someone like myself who's going to be the kind of supervisor over those other managers, make sure that I'm the liaison between myself, them, and the label to make sure that, okay, hey, these guys have already been paid before they get here, logistics, making sure the hotels, different things are set up along the routes, stuff like that. And then you just have representation. You have agents as well. And sometimes I act as an agent, and it might just be like, hey, just like you said, you guys are the creatives. It's not up for you. And let's say if you guys are doing a track with Young Dolph, it's not for you to go, hey, Dolph, let me pull you to the side and talk about the business with the track. Like, nah, hey, I'm going to talk to Dolph's manager, you know, and I'm going to negotiate that. And y'all going to go ahead and do that. Y'all be like, oh man, we've never talked about business. Like they talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the creative process, and it helps with, like you said, sometimes, you know, those guys may not be doing bad business, or it might just be a misconception or whatever. But that's not for you to think about, because you guys need to be creating. You could be thinking about, you know, a big placement that you have, or getting paperwork done, and frustrate you to the point to where you're not making beats for a week. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. And see, and like I said, man, I feel like that's the biggest, one of the biggest things is having that cushion for somebody to handle business on your behalf. You know what I'm saying? And just when it comes to making music with an artist, and from experience, you know, I feel like you and the artist should only just be making music and leave the business up to the people that handle the business for a living. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely, bro. That's yeah, I'm sure a lot of people, you know, they're not aware of that, and they still might be, you know, whether they're a new producer or a new artist, you know, that's how I feel it should be and stuff like that. Also,
look at Bufo's comments. It's a good comment. I have my own opinion on this, since I manage, been a manager for a long time as well, and have one client now. But
yeah,
I would like to hear Austin's feedback on that.
Can you pull it up on the screen?
Oh, you can't see it? Oh yeah, we can do that. Bang, you can see it. There you go. All right. Forgot we could do that.
Yeah. So pretty much he says, how does communication commonly work between artist, manager, and lawyer? Is there an implied, I don't know how to hierarchy? Would a manager get mad if the artist goes straight to the lawyer, or vice versa?
Let's say not necessarily. A lawyer's role is very important. A lawyer, the entertainment attorney, usually is just going to really be just going to look out for the best interest of the company, look out for the best interest of the producer, the manager. They're all one team. You know what I mean? It's all one team. So they're all looking out for the best interest of the franchise whatsoever. You know, usually at that point, an artist is usually not going to have, I mean, they're going to have a great relationship with the lawyer, but an artist is not going to go and typically just go complain to their lawyer that the label or the manager is doing something wrong to them, or they're not getting anything done. Usually the lawyer is just there to protect the best interest of everybody, make sure your paperwork is good, make sure that, you know, the producers are being fairly compensated, making sure that the records are registered, different things of that nature. Now, you do have some attorneys that kind of do play a little personal role inside of things like that, but usually the lawyer is not the person who gets the complaints. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually the lawyer is not the person that you're going to go and complain to if something's not right, as far as how you're being treated or something like that. But as far as no, I don't think there's really a hierarchy like that. Like I said, I think there's really, the lawyer is there to protect the best interest of everybody. If anything, the lawyer plays, they're going to play neutral. They're not going to, you know, and it's their job to kind of play neutral when it comes to stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I assume that if there's certain like requirements or something, you know, just for whatever example, you know what I'm saying, just say that they have a contract with so and so, but they're not upholding their contract, that would be a time where they could also, I think that's like more getting to if, you know what I'm saying, but that is something correct, like, you know.
So, let's say, for instance, right? Let's say you enter into an agreement with your company, and the lawyer represents the company, and it represents you as well. Usually, you know, that's a conflict of interest off top. Usually you're going to have a different attorney anyways. So if you had a discretion with your label, then yeah, an attorney probably would reach out and say, well, hey, you guys are supposed to do, you know, 1, 2, 3,
X and Y. Yeah.
So we need to get that done. So they are going to be the people who push forward that narrative. And just like you said, usually those people would be that in between, or the manager would be that in between if it's the label that they're doing it, or same thing if it's if you're having a problem with your manager, then your attorney would probably be the one to reach out to them and say, well, hey, you know, you guys are supposed to pay this share, or this is supposed to be done, it's not getting done. Like,
yeah,
recommend that or get this thing handled.
Yeah, fact. But I mean, a lot of I think more so it's just an artist has to build up to even get to that point to where they're in those positions, you know. But you know, in the beginning, like, we just gotta always go back and hit the nail. You know, again, like, you gotta have business before you could have a manager, or it's recommended. Because otherwise, if you don't have no business for a manager to take care of,
you manage.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're more so asking for an investor, you know what I'm saying? And it's just
you're asking for someone to give you some advice, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean,
and that's a whole different thing. Like I said, then you're talking about consultation.
Yeah, fact.
For their time to tell you, what you need to do in the industry.
Yeah, so I mean, another thing I was gonna say is like, are there any, we kind of already said this, but like, are there any other misconceptions of what a manager does that you could think of?
I think we touched on that, but like I think one of the biggest things, like I said, is the financial part. I
Yeah,
think a lot of people think that the manager is supposed to pay for your studio time, your videos, your clothes, your travel, your plane, your hotel rooms. Like that is not the case.
yeah.
It's not the case.
You gotta, yeah, pretty much you gotta be invested in yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Now there are cases, like I said, there are cases, of course, where A&R/management, or the record companies will give budgets to the management companies in order to help facilitate things, to give working capital budgets for them to get things done. Yeah, and then in that case for sure. But once in that case, like I said, you're bringing something to the table as an artist, because you're bringing a label who can finance and you can actually give the tools necessary to the actual management to help you get to those places. It's like, if you want me to build art, if you give me the hammer and the nails and the crew, I can build it. But for you expect for me to go hire the people, pay them out of my pocket, and go do all these things and get the materials and build it. No, I can't do that. Now
Yeah,
look,
yeah,
I'm gonna need all of it.
yeah. Fact. That makes a lot of sense.
You know what I mean? Just like the labels.
Yeah, facts. So, that kind of led into our other question is like, how important is it for artists to have a budget? If they're not, if they're not signed and have label backing. What is like maybe a good budget or something that you think they would need?
Honestly, man, it's the reason why I say budget is, and I emphasize this so much, because you have to have a budget to do anything in life. You have to have a budget to live. You have to have a budget to go to work. To go to work, you have to have a budget, because you got to have money for lunch.
Gas.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have a haircut. You got to look a certain way. You got to have a uniform. You got to clothes. You have to be willing to invest into yourself before anyone will invest into you. How do you think in your mind you're going to get a stranger to invest millions of dollars into you, and you have not even proven that you invested thousands into yourself? It doesn't make any sense. It will never work. It doesn't work that way. And if it does, usually 9 times out of 10, you don't want that deal, or you're going to be making 2 cents out of every dollar.
Yeah, fact.
If they're willing to come and give you a deal and you've done nothing, zero, nothing, you have nothing to show for it, you just woke up one day and you just happened to make a song and it did that, I guarantee you they're taking all of it.
Yeah, facts.
They're gonna make you a star and they're gonna take everything else.
Yeah, so I mean, you pretty much just gotta have some kind of budget, and you know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, if you depend on people to do all this, it's a long shot. It's a long shot, and you're asking a lot of people to even do that in general. You know what I'm saying? You don't just ask, hey, can you go give me $1 million to
for what?
Career?
I can rap real good. I'm telling you, man, I'm hot now. You know what I'm saying? That's not it. But I'll say it like this, right? I'll give you my example, because I like to tell people like what I did. So, I'm from Texas, and we have a local chain store called HEB, right? So I used to work at HEB when I was like 16 years old. I think back then probably made like around like $9 an hour, maybe.
Yeah, I've been there, done the deal.
But hey, I was working and I was at school. You know what I'm saying? So I was probably making like $400 some a week, you know what I'm saying, plus my little tips or whatever, and staying at the mom's crib, so I wasn't tripping. I was like 16, but I was able to like save up like 10 grand in like 6 months. You see what I'm saying? And I saved up and I bought, it was like the Digi Rack back then, and just bought it. Oh no, it was the inbox. It was the inbox, the first inbox, the Generation 1 inbox. I remember I bought
the little circle, or it's like the gray with the ugly one, the one with like 3 knobs. I know.
You know what I mean? My little Rhodes mic. I remember I bought some Lugani cables. I remember I was like, get some good cables, But I spent like $5 grand on my setup. And then I just started, recording myself. You know what I mean? I remember I got Reason. I bought the real version of Reason. I was like, bought everything, no cracks. You know what I'm saying? And I just started, creating my own brand and creating my own little merchandise, and just, it wasn't the biggest budget in the world, but I was able to do that. And then it got to a point to where I was like, man, I wanted to buy beats. And this was before really it was tight beats and different things like that, where you can, you know, we have, you know, platforms like BeatStars and things like that. So,
Yeah.
you know, producers were still expensive, you know what I'm saying? Back then, you know, to me, other producers, like I was going back and forth to Houston and stuff like that. So they were like 500, you know, 500 a track, maybe 1,000, maybe, you know what I'm saying? 600-700, depending, maybe 300. I might get lucky, 200 or whatever.
Yeah.
But that stuff's getting expensive, man. I can't, you know, so I was like, man, you know what? Start making my own beats.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, the thing is that, you know, I say that to say, just you have to start somewhere and invest into yourself. You know,
Yeah. And then another thing you were saying, bro, is like, you know, you were working and doing all this other stuff, and I'm sure, you know, you wanted to go, you know, buy a bunch of clothes and, you know, go trick off some money and just, you know what I'm saying, just have fun and do stuff like that. But I'm positive you sacrificed and, you know, you cut back on whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? And
that was my next point. Like literally, I remember when I saved the money, I wanted to buy. It was a Mustang. I remember it was a 5.0 Mustang. It was hard, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was 16, 17 years old. I'm like, ooh, boy, I already had, you know what I'm saying, my little Mitsubishi, little Galant, you know what I'm saying, my little broke down Galant. And I remember, man, I could give me a brand new car, and I could. I could come there and burn the rubber the next day. You know, I was spinning rims and everything was hard. I was gonna go to Discount Tires, give me some rims. I was gonna hook it up. And you know, I'm gonna do that. Or I could get this studio. I could do this stuff, man. I chose that, bro. And I promise you, if I wouldn't have chose that path, because once I set up that studio, I was recording the whole high school, recording everybody. That's how I learned how to, you know, use Pro Tools. I was the only person literally in the whole high school who knew how to use Pro Tools. You know what I mean? So I taught them how to do that. Then I started making money. Then I was making like another $300-400 a week just recording people. You know what I'm saying? Demos and going to the pep rallies and people want to freestyle and come back from freestyle to pep rally. I literally go to the pep rallies, start freestyles with people and be like, hey man, you know, I got a studio at the crib. What? Come on, make some money just like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But that's the thing, you know, you make them investments into yourself and then, you know, it eventually leads you into making more money. So it's just, you know, you just really got to invest in yourself and, you know, see how it goes, because until then, nobody's going to invest in you. And even once you start investing in yourself, man, you know, you might not be doing stuff. It takes a while for you to get where you're going. So, you know, just be patient and be consistent. And I'm sure ever since then, you know, you're, you know, working with people has grown and stuff like that.
Man, tremendously, man.
So, somebody has a question. They says, has he ever had to or seen someone have to back out of a commitment their artist made previously without him informing the manager? Any thoughts on how to handle situations like this?
Yes, I have dealt with that before, and that's a sticky situation, man. Woo, man. It's like
if we don't have to answer it fully,
I can go. I'm not gonna give names or elaborate on, because I got a million stories. You know what I'm saying? I could just take one. So let's just say when you get into, especially if you're coming on to a different artist, you know, you don't know what they've done previously. I mean, it's just like being in a relationship, man. You're going to know somebody's past. You know what I mean? The best thing, only thing that you can really do is try to show the people, like, if they made some type of mistake. You know, I've been in cases where artists have, you know, agreed to pay certain other managers or other people for an extended amount of time and different things of that nature. And then got their contracts and been like, oh my God, like, what is this? Oh man, like, we got to clean all this stuff up. Like, the best thing you can possibly do is, like I said, transparency. For the artists and the producers and stuff out there, like, be transparent with the people that you're working with, you know, because if you're other business that you did in the past, like all that stuff, like they say, the truth will come to the light. Trust me, it will. It definitely will. So you might as well go ahead and get it out, man, now. You know what I'm saying? You know, did this business with so-and-so, I need to go clear that up. Or, hey, man, you know, so-and-so might be calling you. I know we're kind of popping now. You might get a call from so-and-so because I know you might be expecting, you know what I mean? Like, it has happened. I think the best thing to do at that point, like I said, is just move with it.
Be transparent.
Be transparent and try to show the artists, you know, the difference between what we're going to be doing now and what they're doing then. And I think that's the only way to kind of you know, knowledge. Knowledge is the only way to kind of, you know, patch that other stuff up, bro. A lot of
Yeah.
people, they might not know. A lot of people, a lot
Yeah.
of artists don't really know some of the business. That's why, in the first place, if you don't know, hire somebody who knows.
Facts. So how does a manager earn his income? So I know a lot of people might not be aware how a manager earns their income. So what is ways managers earn their income when they manage?
Managers earn income based off of monies that are generated by the artists that they represent. So
Mhm.
it could be from features that the artists are coming in, let's say shows, promotional, different items. It just really depends. Me, I'm a kind of a different type of manager.
Mhm.
I only really believe in I only eat what I kill type of manager. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There's other managers that are just like every
they
time
want everything.
someone speaks to you, they want a piece of it. I'm not really that guy because I think of so many different things, and like I said, I'm the type of person who I just know how to fill my void, and the void of the particular need of that artist. So some people just may need someone to take over complete bookings, and then I'll take over that, and then I'll take my percentage of that. Some people might say, hey, you know, I got somebody over the bookings, but if you bring any type of new business to the table, you know, we have a percentage of that. Like, hey, I'm cool with that too because I
Yeah,
know different people and I know how to, you know, strategically strategize and make different things, different business opportunities. So, I mean, to me, it's never ending sources of income because if you could think of an idea, I could think of a way to try to make $1 off of it. If you have any type of impressions or you have any type of following or any type of fan base that can, you know, show these brands that you can bring something to the table, I'm gonna make
yeah,
it. For sure, for sure.
that's dope, man. Okay, that's live, bro. So
Absolutely.
pretty much you pretty much get like, if you handle a certain booking or it really just depends on what you and the artist have as an agreement though, pretty much.
So like let's just say like for instance, you might have an artist that's just like, all right, hey man, I did 3 or 4 features last month or whatever. Cool. All right, hey, all right, bet. But hey, I need you to call and get them because they want to book the video now. All right, cool. So now I'm gonna tell them, all right, cool. This is what the video is gonna be, and I'm just gonna have my fee inside of that. I'm gonna take it from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whatever the artist asks me to do at that point, then I'll do that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So that's kind of a the same thing. Or like I said, if somebody reaches out to me and says, hey, well, we want to have one of your artists come do a show, and I say, okay, cool. Well, then I'm gonna take it upon myself to call a promoter that's in town and say, hey, do y'all want to do something for an after party or a meet and greet? And then I'm gonna say, hey, artist AB, I got 5,000 for you to do a meet and greet. You want to take that? And they're like, cool, hell yeah, I'll take the meet and greet. Let's do it. Cool. And I'll just take my percentage out of that 5,000. You know what I'm saying? Because I set that up. So I'm not
yeah.
gonna sit around and just be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna wait for me to get a piece or leech off the artist. I'm gonna make my own things and bring.
You're gonna try to like bring something to the table as well, pretty much.
I probably made more money from my artists during this COVID than any other person probably ever. I
Yeah.
guarantee you. I'm just a different type of hustler. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's facts though, bro. So somebody asked, is there a set price that you normally get, or is there a ballpark estimate of like percentage wise that you get, or that's reasonable for a manager to get
Honestly, there's a standard rate of 20%. Some managers get up to 30%, just depending on what they're doing.
in the
And
caliber, I'm
like
assuming?
30% would be like someone who is coming in as an investor as well to saying like, hey, now we're also going to be able to put this into you and take care of your studio time, production, marketing, different advertisement things. And then they'll say, okay, of course now we want 30% because we're actually investing into you. And then you have different cases, but the standard usually, if you're coming in on the artist, is about, it's going to be 20%. And then depending on what other organizations that you're working with, you might take a percentage and you might split that percentage with somebody else. So even in the case of one of my artists, we actually have a joint management with the actual label and their management company as well. And we just split the percentage down the middle. So now we have all the power of the management company from the label, and then we have the power of the streets when it comes to our management company as well. We're doing as far as building the artists and doing everything on our side. So it's really just about there's no standard anything in business.
Yeah, it's all pretty much on what y'all come to agree to.
It's what you negotiate. There's no
Yeah,
you're not going to get anything that you earn anything. It's all about what you negotiate. That's it.
yeah, that's dope, bro. Um, So why is it important for an artist to have a manager? Is there any other reasons why you would think an artist would need a manager?
Mm, it's the it's just teamwork makes the dream work, bro. Like,
Yeah,
and imagine like so you're playing football, right? It's like you can play offense and defense. Now
yeah,
playing, you know what I'm saying? Like we're playing like, PB football, like you can play both like but why? You could be extra tired too. But
yeah.
why not, let somebody else come in and help you out?
And assist you. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the same thing from us or for us too. Is like, when it comes to us negotiating deals and stuff like that, we need a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? If we wanted to save that little bit of money from her, not representing us, we probably wouldn't get as much that we should have got, or alternatively we just get a horrible contract and we get
But
messed up. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
So I guess it's the same aspect as far as the manager goes. Having a manager, like I said earlier, they get to say stuff that you really can't say without messing up relationships and stuff like that.
another thing is it's the experience, man. It's the experience.
Yeah.
So let's take it for instance. Let's use like another analogy, right? Like going to the gym, right? Everybody knows how to go to the gym. Everybody knows how to do a push-up. Everybody knows how to jump and jacks, run on the treadmill. Everybody knows how to do that. Why do you think that personal trainers are so important? Right? It's because they have the knowledge and they have the experience. And they're going to show you different ways in order for you to get the results that you want a lot faster and a lot easier and doing it the correct way. Because there's a lot of people, even like myself, man, like 6-7 months ago, I promise I'll be in the gym and I'll work out for 3 or 4 months. You ever worked out for 3-4 months and you get no results? You're like, bro, I'm killing myself in the gym. I'm in there 5-6 hours a day, literally going to gym.
Yeah.
All that. And then you're like, bro, I'm not getting no results. But then you get with a personal trainer, you get with somebody, and then you only work out for 30, 45 minutes, and they tell you to do 2 or 3 different things. And then you're like, bro, I done lost the weight, got cut up, everything in a month. It's because you're working against yourself and you don't even know it. These people have the skill set and they have the knowledge and they have the experience. They've done it over again, over again, over again. They're like, oh, I've seen that body type. I've seen that situation. I've seen this artist type and I've seen this situation. I know how to help you guys with this, and I know how to, what I'm saying? I know how to make that thing work. Like,
Yeah. And see that, I mean, that was a good thing that you did, similarity, because I actually did that one time. Like I think it was last year, bro. I had hired a personal assistant and stuff like that. They were like, yeah, you gotta lift the weights this way, you know what I'm saying? You gotta do it like this. You gotta make sure you're eating your food like this. You know what I'm saying? It has to be within a certain range of this, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like once you get somebody that knows what they're doing, they could definitely help you versus you just going in blindly and trying to do it on your own. So
It's also extra motivation and an extra support system too. So you add all that into the fold, and it's a good situation for the most
yeah,
part.
it's a good plan. You know what I'm saying? You're heading where you're going.
If you do your job, then it's a good plan. You know what I mean? As long as everybody does their job correctly.
Like that's a big thing because it's also the push. That's when that trainer, just when you think you got that last one, they say, no, come on, you got to
you can do it.
I know you can do it, bro. That's how I like to work out. Like it's hard to even sometimes work out without a partner or without somebody because if I go, I'm gonna be on the phone the whole time. I'm probably having a conversation. I know I probably called you guys plenty of times about, hey man, I'm on the treadmill. And I don't even now, you know what I mean? But if I'm off the phone, I have somebody like a workout buddy or partner with me, like, bro, no, put your phone down. Come on, man.
Just get it. Yeah, hell yeah.
Also very important for you too. If you're seeing people that are doing great things and then they're inspiring you and staying on you to be great, just, come on, man, that's gonna help you get to that spot you want to be at.
Yeah, that's fire, bro. And you know what I'm saying? I could definitely relate to that shit. So somebody else has another question. They said, I heard of the term about getting I heard about the term earning getting points with the label. Is he familiar with that concept and could he briefly touch on it? So I guess they're asking about what a producer would get as far as points or publishing. I mean, I could kind of answer that. For like normally what
On that too.
for a producer, you know what I'm saying? If it's an artist with a major label, you normally, it's standard 50-50 pub split. If they're with a major label, I think the industry standard is like 3 to 5%, but you can always, everything is negotiable. You know what I'm saying? normally if it's an independent artist and they're not with a major label, you know, you will get a bigger percent of the masters, or points on the masters. And, you know, I've been told it's like 25 uh, points is like the starting point when it comes to an independent artist. And you could go all the way up, you know, it's all what you negotiate. So, you know, that's what our lawyer will handle. What do they mean by points? Is it another word for publishing? No, so this is where it gets a little technical. So there's publishing percentage, and I know there's the master percentage, and each of them earn a different kind of royalty. Um, so yeah, it's really complex, bro. You probably have to go look up the graph to better understand it. But I know there's different. You know, you get your publishing, and then you get your master points. Yeah,
We're,
my lawyers.
we're bringing on an entertainment attorney soon, so we can ask
Yeah,
all these questions.
definitely.
Get some free legal advice.
Yeah, I probably ask Cassandra if she comes through.
That's who was actually coming on.
Oh
Oh,
shit,
Yeah, we're gonna have her on a future show. Yep. Hell yeah.
dope,
Like
dope.
system is like, think about every cent per dollar, right? So just to clear up the point thing. So usually if you're saying there are 3 points on a record, it's like 3% of a record. You know, 3 cents. So you're basically getting 3 cents out of every out of every dollar. You know what I mean? That's as far
On
as
a certain kind of royalty though.
certain type. Exactly.
Yeah, but on the publishing, it's
Yeah.
different.
Just talking about usually when they're saying standard points, that's usually what they're going to be talking about is that. And then when it gets down to the pub, like you said, when you have the entertainment attorney come on, they can kind of get into that. But the pub usually is just the underlying ownership, like who has the ownership of it, you know what I mean, of the intellectual property itself, be it the composer and be it the author of the actual work itself. But,
Yeah, but I mean, you still earn you'll still earn royalties and stuff from the publishing. That's like
yeah.
yeah. So I don't want people to think, oh, just because I give only get 3 points, I only get 3 cents out of every dollar.
No.
There, yes,
There's way more revenue than that.
yeah, there's other revenue including the publishing and stuff, but that's something that a lawyer would probably be best to like. They could probably break down in terms exactly of what it is. Yeah, for sure. So I know we have one last question is like, what is a typical day of a manager?
Whoo, man.
Or is there a typical day? Yeah.
No typical day, man. Everything, man. Woo, look. Like, let's just say it's like, bruh, one day you could be an executive. One day you could be a maid. One day you could be a producer. One day you could be let's just say I don't even know, man. Like, there's so many things that come about, brothers. I might be in the studio. I might be helping somebody change a tire. I mean, there's just like, you have to be everything. Like, a good manager is going to be everything, and that's why I say that a lot of people expect for managers to do all that stuff, but don't expect a manager to know the difference between a good manager and people who just are there to, you know, better themselves in the situation. Of course, if you can't be used in this industry, take this note. If you can't be used in the industry, you're useless, no matter what, anything. That's just what we have to know. But at the end of the day, I think it needs to be something where you have a common goal or commonality with that person, to where it's a mutual benefit and not just one person benefiting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
facts.
day in the life of a manager is nothing. There's nothing that's set every day. The only thing that's set every day is that there's nothing set every day. And you have to get up and you have to work for a different opportunity for your artists and bring those things in. Like, you can't just sleep and think it's going to come. One thing that I've learned from this whole pandemic, and I've recently, probably for like the past 4 months, man, I've been up like every morning, like 6 a.m. sharp. You know what I mean? Just getting the whole day. I was on my laptop. I wouldn't be able, y'all could be able to see. But inside my little condo downtown, man, there's no, like, the blind, so the sun comes in instantly. So as soon as the sun comes,
day starts. That's when your day starts.
all day, bro. I'm working all day, every day, trying to make something happen, trying to create some more records, trying to talk to the label, trying to create different revenue, different strategies for the artists, man, creative things, doing things like this. Hey, man, just
Well, shit, man. Well, we really appreciate you
Yes,
coming
sir.
through, and you know, shit, you answered a lot of questions that I had. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I'm sure it's going to be very helpful for everybody else that might not really understand what a manager does and you know their role and everything. So I appreciate you coming and taking your time to do this, man.
Nah, for sure, man. Salute, man. Also, too, I know I should have changed my name up there. But anybody want to follow me, you can follow me at I am Austin Martin on Instagram. Same thing for everything else. I am Austin Martin. Any questions or anything anybody has, man, if you are on here, just shout out, you know what I'm saying, B Stars and the B Demons, and I'll make sure I'll give you guys some game and some insight. I got you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you also, man. Thanks for coming on. A lot of gems were dropped, so we appreciate you, man.
Let me know, man. And I got some other guys that, you know, when you guys want to do some more interviews, some other artists, man, I would love to get some other artists on here too.
Yeah, sure, bro. I got you.
That's the bet.
All right.
All right, everybody. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you, bro.
Peace.
Bet.